I would just like to reference the fact that you don't have to go back 1,000 years to talk about marriage being defined as a man and a woman, and that has always been the definition, because it hasn't. You could go back to 1967, Loving versus Virginia, and they said that a black woman or black man or white woman or white man could not marry because the concept of marriage handed down through generations never contemplated that white and black people would marry or that there would be an interracial marriage. So that the definition of marriage has been delineated by color and by race. And the court found that to be a violation of the Equal Protection Clause. And that is exactly what is happening now. The civil union law says, and I quote, "The legislature has chosen to establish civil unions by amending the current marriage statute to include couples. In doing so, the legislature is continuing a long-standing history of inequity by providing same-sex couples with the same rights and benefits as heterosexual." Inched into amending. And when I questioned the representatives of the Catholic Church, they said that they support civil unions. So we're not here talking about an issue of morality. They said they supported, and I questioned the gentleman. They supported civil unions because it gave to same-sex couples all the rights and benefits of heterosexual married couples. And that is the basis upon which, so he represented, that the Catholic Church supports civil unions. And when I questioned, if civil unions does not provide the same rights and benefits, what should we do? And in that questioning, he simply kept returning to the fact that civil unions, in fact, provide the same rights and benefits as a heterosexual. State action. And that state action, much like they did in Virginia in defining who could marry, that state action, once it creates an unequal situation, it violates the Constitution. So I don't think, humbly, that we are here debating in a vacuum. We have to look at what state action have we taken as a legislative body. That state action says the intent of civil unions is to give all benefits and privileges that heterosexual married couples have. There's an Oxford Insurance Plan, national corporation. And you know how they define dependents or spouse? And I quote, "A person's spouse," this is a benefit update rider, "a person's partner, husband or wife in a legal marriage. For purposes of dependent eligibility under this certification, spouse includes same-sex partners who are married in jurisdictions that recognize same-sex marriage. There is nothing you can do to tweak this civil union law to address the issue that same-sex couples are denied the benefits of insurance under national insurance companies because we have a separate and unequal system. Now, you could have, respectfully, as many task forces as you want, but you cannot change the fact that national companies are defining dependency for insurance, health insurance benefits, as same-sex couples who are married. Is this a civil rights issue? Well, is the right for disabled people to have reasonable accommodations and the ability to fully participate in this society, that's a civil rights issue. Is the right for our children, if they have a disability, to be part of the full educational process in this country? That's a civil right. Is it a civil right when they say if you are charged, even in a civil case, you have a right to know what you are being charged with? That's a civil right. And so the civil right issue is so fundamental because of the 13th and 14th Amendment, but particularly the right of equal protection. And each of us, in some way in this chamber, has a family member, if not ourselves, who has benefited from others taking an issue and standing up for civil rights in some way when it was not popular. We may not even like our gay partner neighbors. And you know what? We have the right to. They may even argue with each other. And you know what? They have the right to. But this body cannot abdicate its responsibility once we have taken state action. That state action must be constitutional in its equal protection. This chamber, this legislature, would not be this diverse and this encompassing of the citizens of the United States if someone had not said to my forefathers and mothers that we will fight for the right for our children to be equal participants in this society. And I know that the same-sex couples here, they're not just fighting for themselves. They're fighting for their children. They're fighting for their future. They're fighting to be able to say to their children what my grandfather and grandmother was able to say to their children. We won the fight. You can vote. You can go to school. You can make out of your life that which you think is important. But we have fought so that you could be a full participant in America. Let these same-sex couples be a full participant in our state.